everybody, how are you all doing? It's me, Mr. Flynn. We've got the lovely tier 1 bunch today for round number 5 at the lovely circuit of China. 28 laps around this lovely circuit, a total of 16 corners, 3 lovely sectors, and obviously sector 1 and I believe it's sector 2 being the trickiest ones on the calendar, not on the calendar, on the circuit, for some traction. So traction could be quite a big factor here and a bit of an interesting one. I was racing tier 2 today myself, and the traction I'll turn 8, 9 and 10 towards 11 and 12 and 13, that can be quite interesting to try and get the car in a straight line and not spin around or make contact with anybody else on the circuit. But we are just waiting obviously to get in the lobby and crack on. Once that's all sorted, we'll get into the lovely qualifying session, and it may rain in quali. It didn't rain obviously in tier 2, but it is set to sunny, and then near the end of it it's dynamic, so there could be a chance to have a hinder of some sort of rain, which would be quite spicy and a little bit interesting. But we'll get to the main event now, make our way to the lovely gameplay screen. You can see all the drivers in the lobby. 18 out of 22, absolutely crazy, very busy on the circuit tonight. But you know, I think we've got everybody in, and then once we do, we can crack on and run away. And while we are waiting, feel free in the Twitch chat to let me know what you've been up to, what you've been doing this weekend, as it's almost the end of the weekend as well. But as well, I'd like to know, what are your strategies? Who do you think is going to win today's race? And who are you rooting for especially? Do let me know. And there we go. We have confirmation from everyone readying up. We've got 10 seconds till it's basically lights out, and away we go for a short qualifying. And is it going to rain? Are we going to see the intermediate tyres play a big key factor here? Of course, as the rules state here at Phoenix, only use the inters to wet tyres when it is wet on track. If you are caught using it in dry conditions, that will be a slam dunk penalty. So, keyword, don't do it. We just sit here, admire the loading screen as well. GG Land, how you doing, buddy? I see you're very hyped up in the chat right now. Tier 1, let's go. That's what I love to hear and love to see. Excitement is already building up. I did see that verse. That was very strong in tier 2. 1 and 2, and absolutely domination form. Absolutely crazy, I must say. An art of work. You know, with all the cars fighting behind you guys, to then think, you know what, let's run away, trade each other's DRS, push to the absolute max, and break the DRS gap, and then just keep building on that. That was great to see in tier 2, so congratulations on 1 and 2. Exactly, Scallop. That's what I mean. That's absolutely crazy. From a quali bound to P1 is very mighty and very impressive. It does look like there is not going to be any rain on today's circuit. It just looks a little bit cloudy. So fingers crossed, there should be no rain expected. 19 drivers on the grid today. Almost a full lobby. Just missing out on 1 driver, unfortunately. But that is not going to be a problem today, because we have still got much action packed for today. And I do see an Aston Martin making its way out of the garage, also a Williams leaving as well. So let's get our eyes peeled and say who's out on track first. It's going to be Test Will in the Williams Racing team car, making their way through turns 1, 2 and 3 now, and preparing that outlap, and we'll ride on board with them as the first driver to leave the pits to see how they get on. And we can look elsewhere on the grid as well. Whilst that's happening, we could go on board with I think it's Quinn's up. I think it's how you say her name. Fingers crossed it is. If it's not, then I'm about to get violated in the chat. But they've just had a bit of a spin on the exit at turn 1. Definitely not ideal. That would have definitely lost them some tyre wear. But that would have put heat into their tyres, so I don't think they'll be complaining about that. We've got Cos on track right now, followed by Mr. Wobbie McQueen reserving for Alfa Romeo. They were looking quite pacey in Tier 2, but just got involved in some unfortunate contact, and they finished, I believe, in P number 7, if I'm not mistaken, and hopefully my calculations are correct. Got to choose out on track right now, and Ryan Gosling in the McLaren, the papaya McLaren, shall I say. And of course, this is just a mixed bunch of drivers at the moment. No one's yet to set a lap time, so of course we'll go back on board with Test Will, making their way through turn 13 down to turn 14, taking it nice and steady, getting the tyres into an optimal range to then push for his first quali lap, his first benchmark, and see what the rest of the grid can do. But never mind, because the Aston Martin, I believe that's not Julian, who's on the intermediate tyres, which you're not meant to be on, so unfortunately that is going to be a penalty once again to him in the Aston Martin. But it's going to be Cos starting us off here in qualifying, making his way around turn number 16, and very good exit there, making his way, DRS wide open, down to turns number 1, 2 and 3. Let's ride on board with him and see how he gets on. We've got to hug this inside right hand side as much as you can. You can go a little bit wide, because if you do that you could get a better exit on the exit of turn 3 heading towards turn 4, but because doing that to absolute perfection, having a bit of a hairy moment there with the car, but still in a straight line and still pushing on with this lap in sector 1. It's going to be a purple, a 23.860, because obviously he's the first driver to set a lap around this circuit. We'll see if Tesla could contend Cos, but we'll keep our eyes peeled for what can happen, because there's so much content happening on the track, especially turns 14 and 15. A bit of yellow flags going on to give a bit of a gap to drivers on circuit. Cos now in sector 2, about to head to sector 3. They completely nailed sector 2, really. Not really many major mishaps or moments, shall we say. Now making their way around turn number 12 towards turn 13, the DRS detection zone. He's already gone by, I believe. So now he's on the run down, flat out, no need to lift, and we'll see what kind of lap time they can do. Making their way by the Ferrari, making their way by the Alpine, and now on the exit at turn 14 and 15, making their way around 16, the final corner here at China. What's it going to be? It's a benchmark of a 130.552. Absolutely nailing that lap time. Test Will only going to be a 131.693. So not far off of Cos. I say far off, just a little bit far off, as the AlphaTauri driver goes P2 ahead of Test Will at 131.196. Like I was saying about Test Will, a little bit far off the pace, but that's not a bad start. Wobbie McQueen at 131.939 currently puts them in P5 as skill issue goes to the top of the leaderboard as a 130.653. Not far off Cos there, so that's mightily impressive. Let's go on board of Ryan Gosling as they now cross the line. They go P3 in the McLaren at 130.907. There's some very quick lap times coming in right now for Tier 1. I have not seen these lap times before. Julian, unfortunately, like I said, on the intermediate compound, which you're not meant to be on if it's not wet. He does go P9, a 136.904, but that could be a penalty on his way, unfortunately, as Mick crosses the line, and he's on a 131.111. And the Haas as well crossed the line. Who was that? That was going to be Fat Cat in P4. Now drops down to P5 as GG Land goes to the top of the leaderboard in third place at 130.716. Fat Cat at 130.950. So, yeah, you can see a lot of the 130s now coming to picture and coming into frame. We'll go on board with the Alpine. How you say that name? go with Pat. We'll go with Pat as the nickname, as they go P10 at 131.562. And that is pretty much it for quick laps around this circuit. I say that though, we have got some out laps about to begin. We'll go on board with Soybean. Oh my goodness, saying that, and there's contact in qualifying, and that is a 5 grid place penalty going to Soybean because he must have braked or something, and for some odd reason, skill issue just went into the back of him. That is not ideal. A 5 grid place penalty to Soybean. That could be potential rear wing damage, which isn't ideal. Does slightly get in the way there of Maya, who's now starting their qualifying lap time. So we'll go on board with them and see how they get on. Making their way into turns 1, 2, and 3. Looking good so far. No major errors or mistakes. I say that, a bit of a wobbly exit on turn 3 and 4. Heading towards 5 and 6 now. Yes, Scallop, I must say that was a nice clean race as well, and yeah, very impressive from, like I said, Ferrari. You know, first and second, vitally impressive, I must say. But Maya doing a stellar job at the moment, vibing in sector 2, about to make her way to sector 3. It's a 53.753. Not too bad. This could probably put them in the top 10 if they keep together, but they're still having this little bit of snaps and wiggles, especially on the exit of 12 to 13. Now 14. If you lift, I don't understand why you're lifting, because you shouldn't be lifting, but Maya has backed off, as you can hear there. So she might go again. We'll find out to see if they come into the box very, very shortly, but we'll go on board with Zoltz as they cross the line out of turn number 16. They're going to go into P13, a 132.195. Very good lap time there from Zoltz in the AlphaTauri. On board with JPJ, currently yet to set a lap time in P18. Now heading towards sector 3, does a 51.313. They could find themselves in the top 10 if they keep this lap nice and tidy. We do know that JPJ is a very competitive and fast racer here at Phoenix. So if he doesn't get in the top 10 with his lap time, I will be very, very surprised if Soybean a 2:03.772, but that is the contact he had with skill issue, which kind of put him offline for now. And he probably went round to warm up his tyres again, get in the right mode, get everything set up, and go for his push lap, which he's now doing at this moment in time. And JPJ just off the track invalidates. It was a 131.121, and it would have put them around P7. But that is so unfortunate. Invalidating, going way too wide on the exit of 16. And the game says, nope, slam dunk, penalty towards your name. We've got Rico right now in the Mercedes, reserving for Mercedes today as well. They are going to cross the line. It's a 1:30.579. Goes P2 right behind Cos. At this moment of time, no one is able to beat or take down Cos. And Soybean, though, spoil the party. I've been hearing rumours and bits and bobs everywhere that this is not Soybean's favourite track, shall we say. So we'll see how they get on. Currently in P17. On their fast push lap now. At turn 14. You don't want to brake too late. In my opinion, you want to brake a little bit early and not go too deep. Because if you go way too deep, you're going to lose a lot of time on the entrance and exit of your corner. Making his way around turn number 16. About to cross the line. And he destroys Cos's time. It's a 1:30.493. Is anybody now going to be able to get ahead of the Red Bull with how many minutes of qualifying to go? We can't really see at the moment because there's yellow flags. 7 minutes to go of qualifying. This could be major. Mighty lap times need to happen here as the track ramps up and grip wears in. But grip is non-existent on this circuit, so I don't even know why I said that. We're on board of Brisbane now. heading towards 1, 2, and 3. Trying to tuck into the right-hand side as much as he possibly can. Go a little bit wide to get a better exit out of turn 4. Yet to set a lap time. Currently P18. We'll see what they can do. Their first sector. Is it going to be a solid sector? It is indeed a 23.977. That is pretty impressive at the moment. Not purple, not the fastest, but you don't always have to be the fastest driver to get a good grid positioning. It's got to be nice and calm and collected and just send it. So we'll see how Prison gets on, making his way around 9 towards turn 10. The exit of turn 10 now, all the way down to turn 11. Some curbs can be a little bit interesting as well. He does go purple in sector 2, which means he could be on for a very good top 5, top 3 position here. Of course, sector purples is a yes and a no. It's a bit of a 50-50 chance. They could be flying, or they can't be flying. It just means it's an improvement, which is a little bit weird, but the game is somewhat probably still broken, but no one's really surprised about, you know, a broken game. That EA does try its best, though, to fix all major issues and stuff like that. But Prison making his way out of 15 towards 16 now. Where's he going to go? Towards the leaderboard. It's going to be a 131, and he goes P11.181. All the drivers almost set a lap time, but JPJ yet to set one. On an out lap at the moment, probably on fresher tyres. So we'll see how they get on. On board with Wobby McQueen, racing in the Alpha car today. They are making their way into the pit lane after, I believe they completed a lap. They're doing a 131.60. So they're wanting to probably get into the 130s. Currently P10, not a bad starting position, but Webby knows he's quick. So you just got to stop making those little major errors, and I think he'll be all right. Anyways, Mick, a 130.702. They go P5. And could we see dominance again by Red Bull by a 1-2? Because we got dominance by Ferrari. Majorly, Ferrari in Tier 2 pulled away massively, and they got a 1-2, which is quite impressive. As Fat Catch across the line right now, splits Cos and Soybean up, goes into P2, a 130.521. That is mighty by Fat Cat. Very, very quick, and wowzers. The fight is on, shall we say. The fight is on. But let's find someone who is on a flying lap, like Mr. Goat. Is he on a flying lap? No, he's not. He's completed his lap. Nobody's on a flying lap yet. Mick has finished his. Fat Cat, he's finished his. So, Mr. Goat's going to come into the pit lane very, very shortly. Yeah, guys, we are just playing the waiting game now. Actually, I lie. I forgot JPJ's not set lap time yet. So on the exit of turn 4, down to 5 and 6. Flying in the Alpine at 23.882. Not a bad sector to get on the board. 3 minutes though, and 55 seconds. This is going to be JPJ's only chance to get a decent lap time in for qualifying. So it's going to be a bit of a sketchy, hairy moment. Can the Alpine make it into the top 10? Possibly top 5, possibly top 3. We'll have to find out very, very shortly. Drivers who want to get one more lap in are going to have to do some magic to get around the track as quickly as possible. If you leave it too late and the checker flag is waving before you cross the line with 0 seconds, then that is you done just for qualifying. We have got drivers ahead of the Alpine now, but the Alpine too far back to get, you know, blocked by anything or any dirty air. But they probably would have wanted to tow down the back straight on the exit of 13 down to 14. Late on the brakes, sliding the car into 15 now towards number 16 for the final time here in qualifying for JPJ. It could be a very good lap time here. They cross the line. They go P6 at 130.655. 635, sorry. But that was a mighty, mighty lap time. That is interesting, Verge, you know. That's what I just realised that. That is interesting with the track evolution. That is, yeah. Very interesting as JPJ retires on track. That is them done as to qualifying. I'm not too sure if they would get penalised for that, but we'll let the stewards decide on that one if it gets reported. On board in Maya now. They're on a flying lap. 3 tenths up apparently in sector 2. and it did go purple for just a second, so this could be a very mighty improvement into the 1 minute 30s. So let's see how they do. Let's see how they get on. Maya now on the exit of 13 down to 14, flat on the throttle, no need to lift, DRS activated. Hopefully they don't miss their braking zone like a certain Lewis Hamilton did in qualifying, because he lost 2/10. How crazy is that? 2/10 he lost by late braking into turn 14. Absolutely crazy. But Maya, a mighty lap time from them. Could this be anywhere near the top 3? And it's only P11, a 1:31.080. That is them done for quali. We look elsewhere on the track. Ryan Gosling making their way on the back straight to prepare themselves for the final time here at China. Cos as well on a outlappers at the moment. I think one of the Red Bulls is on a flyer. And it is Soybean, I believe, on a flyer right now. Improving by a couple of thousandths, shall we say. So I'm not up by much, but if they could extend their lead, and they most likely want to extend their lead, I think they'll be very happy with that one. So on board with the mighty Soybean into turn 14 now, heading towards 15 and 16. Kind of loses the back end there just ever so slightly, but if they can make it to the line just in time, is it going to be another improvement for Soybean for anyone to contend? No, he's 50,000 seconds down, and that's him done and dusted. Is anybody else going to have to challenge for P1? Is anyone else going to be able to steal P1? Let's go on board with Ryan Gosling, who started their final qualifying lap here at China, down in Sector 2, into the S's now, as I like to call it. The very tricky corners, especially in the F2 cars. I tried it before. It didn't go very well. I was into the barriers quite a lot. 9 and 10 now on the exit of 10, down towards turn 11. Is it going to be a mighty Sector 2? He's up by 28 thousandths of a second. That's absolutely crazy. Fraction by fraction, margin by margin, any improvement could make them up the grid ever so slightly. Exactly, Scallop. Ferrari is not cooking in Tier 1. It's a bit surprising, but we have got a race after this of 28 laps, so never say never to Ferrari. They could make their way up the grid to P1 and P2. You know, there could be magic. Ryan Gosling, however, making his way out of turn 16, about to cross the line. Is it going to be pole position? It's not. It's only best for P9 improved, but doesn't improve on position. It's a 1:30.743. His teammate, GG Land, however, down in Sector 3 to the tricky corners of 11 and 12. Could get a nice tow from the Red Bull ahead, which really help him out. But we're going to go on board with, I believe it's Rico, coming around the final corner at turn number 16, hitting that apex now. Absolutely lovely. They're going to cross the line and they're going to steal pole position. They do! A 1:30.356. Anybody else going to be able to cook? Both Ferraris about to cross the line very shortly. Brison improves, goes to P12, 1:30.984. Wobbin McQueen unable to improve. They'll be down in P15. The Red Bull cross the line. Mick, a 1:30.476. The Aston Martin, I believe a Cos, has crossed the line. His teammate, however, is down in P number 8, a 1:30.638. And we have two more drivers at the bottom of the grid. That's the Alpine making its way into the pit lane. Zoltz crosses the line. And that is them starting last on the grid. P number 19. But after that, Red Bull cooking. Second and third. Rico takes pole position for the start of the Chinese race. A 1:30.356. Absolutely crazy. Carnage as well, may I just say. That was some lovely qualifying to watch. Now it gets to the main event of the race. But there we go. Soybean, though, is with a 5 grid place penalty for, obviously, that contact and mix, which is quite unfortunate. So I'm not too sure if we're going to get a restart, but I don't think we are. I think we're going to get straight into the main race. So Soybean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will start P8 this race, and that moves up a few free positions for the drivers on the grid. But if we have a look from P1 down to, oh my goodness, down to P17 is all within a second. All within a second. That's absolutely crazy. Soybean with a 5 grid place penalty. This race could be spicy. Let's see what he says. Can he write history here at China? Soybean, not a fan of this track, but we'll see what happens. I'm excited, and if you're excited, let me know in the chat right now. Or cheats turned off. SMH versus SMH. We have now got suffocating, obviously typing in the chat. Discussions of a restart are among the airwaves. We just, you know, obviously bear with for now. We will see what the final result is. I mean, even with the 5 grid place penalty, if Soybean started in P8, it would be quite exciting to see him start in that position, because he is a very quick pace driver and he's very good at overtaking. So that, you know, enroll a lot of action. No restart, confirmation from race control. So we're going to carry on as usual. We're currently waiting for the players to sort their setups out. Make sure to sort your fuel out, because this track is a high fuel burning circuit. We're going to get the 5 red lights here at the Chinese Grand Prix. It's going to be lights out and away we go. It's a very good start for the Mercedes Rico. However, he covers off Mick as we make our way down to 1, 2 and 3. Both Hasses were going wheel to wheel for a second there. Bit of a mixed tyre choice. Some of the hards, some of the medians. We're almost going 3 wide into turns 1, 2 and 3. On the exit of 4 though, there are many drivers making positions around us on the grid, especially down in P7, P6, P5, even P8 and P9 happening. There's a dive there from the McLaren. Oh, there's big contacts, and that was Ryan Gosling going for a bit of a dive and locking the rear. And yeah, definitely not ideal. So that one will probably be a big penalty, making their way from McLaren if anyone decides to report that. And we've got wing damage confirmed, I believe, from Mr. Goat. Not a good start for Ferrari, as they got a 1-2 in tier 2. Was looking like they might have got a tier, you know, a 1-2 in tier 1 if they kept it clean and kept it brave. But getting involved with a very heavy incident from, I believe it was Ryan Gosling, late braking, collecting a few cars, and unfortunately they lose out to that. Now, we've got the Haas and the Aston Martin, of course, are fighting and making their way down to turn 14. On board with Skill Issue, trying to defend this position. Cos on the outside, Skill Issue on the inside. Who's going to get a bit more momentum and better grip as we make our way to turn 16? They're still going to try and go wheel to wheel. The Aston Martin ahead. The Haas goes wide, off track. And Cos still trying to fight this one. There has a fraction ahead, but then as we go down to turns 1, 2 and 3, Cos makes his way up into P3 and now chases ahead for P2 and P1. His teammate Julian right behind the Haas of Skillishu. They're both on the same compounded tyre, so it shouldn't be too much of a hard fight, but Skillishu, a very pacey and quick driver, so if he can hold up Julian, who wants to get past Skillishu for P4, then that could be a bit spicy, interesting. However, 3 drivers make their way into the pit lane. That's Ryan Gosling, the AlphaTauri driver, and Soybean. Not Soybean's day. Down in P19. Hates this track. Absolutely. There you go. Down in P19, not where you want to be. The Aston Martin though of Julian is looking to the outside, will take the inside line for a good switchback and gets it done on Skillishu. Skillishu down to P5 now, and Julian up into P4, not far off his teammate. Aston Martin could be on a verge here of a 1-2. They did very good in Las Vegas, didn't get a 1-2, but did dominate the circuit and did a very good job of working together, so team play could be a key factor here. We'll see how that goes later on into the race. Right now, we've got fighting happening between GG Land and Testwheel for P number 8 of this race on lap number 2, heading towards lap number 3, and DRS as well, going to be enabled as they all cross the line. They'll get that rear wing, the drag reduction system will be activated on the exit of turn number 13 down to turn 14 is where we're going to see some of the major overtakes, if anybody is close enough to make some spicy moves down to turn 14 and 15. And Zay as well, welcome to the stream, buddy. How you doing? I see you're a new fellow chatter and viewer in the chat. Hope you're doing well, buddy, and welcome to Phoenix Sim Sport Twitch channel. You join us for tier number 1 here at the lovely circuit of China. We're just on board with a few drivers at the moment. We're now looking at P3, right on the gearbox, or P2 actually. Rico not really running away as he thought he might be. So Cos on the rear wing of the Red Bull could make a major move into turn 14, but the Red Bull on the hard compounded tyre. Look at the grip difference between hards and mediums at this moment of time. Cos has got such a big advantage. Go on board with him now. He's going to clear the Red Bull even before the DRS detection zone, but the Red Bull actually might try and come back at him as he make our way down to turn 14. Or is he going to lift a little bit? Is he going to go for the dive? He is going to try and challenge the Aston Martin. The Aston Martin have the inside line though and gets the move done for P2. P1 is next on the list. His teammate around about 5 tenths behind. Is he going to try and challenge the Red Bull? Most likely and most certainly will try and go for the move as soon as possible. However, Skillishu on the gearbox almost of the Aston Martin, so he's finding his momentum back and finding his way on the circuit once again, but not close enough to go for a move on the exit of turn number 4, heading towards 5 and 6. But like I said, Julian looking very competitive here and very close to the Red Bull of Mick. Mick, who is on the hard tyres, doing a stellar job here, and this could be the right strategy call potentially, because he is staying within DRS and within a second to get the rear wing open and stay over in this train that is forming from P1, I believe, all the way down to P12, which is absolutely... No, not to P12. P1 down to P6, absolutely crazy. And then it's P8 down to P number 12. That's insane. That's insane. Absolutely sensational. We might see Cos here go for the lead of this race. As we see these two fight it out, we'll go on board with Julian, who pulls to the right hand side, and as we see Cos fighting away with Rico for the race lead. He doesn't go for the move, but his teammate Julian goes for the move. Slight contact there, almost loses the car, but manages to save it, and that's him up to P3. Aston Martin on a very good start here towards this race, and Cos on board of him, not really putting the pressure on Rico at the moment. His teammate might want to hurry up here and try and get back in the DRS zone, and so he can defend from the Red Bull behind, who is literally sniffing the rear wing. On the exit of turn 4 now, down to 5 and 6. He's not going to get the move done because he's not close enough, but he can chill out a bit, save some of his tyres, and use it when he needs to. A late braking opportunity moved by Skillishoe and actually makes contact with the Red Bull and Mick, who spins round at turn number 6 as he made contact, or the Haas made contact with the Red Bull. That's now him down into P12, Brisen up into P11, Mr. Tatus up into P10. I was about to say Bob McQueen, but unfortunately he's down in P14. Could have been involved with some slight contact at the start of this race because it was a bit chaotic. Heading towards turn 5 and 6 into sector 2, but Tatus in P10 making a very good impression to the start of this race. Unfortunately, however, with that contact, JPJ has lost DRS to P3 and won't get the rear wing open as we see a swap for the lead happen. So go and look at them two for a second. On board of Rico, trying to get the switch back. They're on the same compounded tyres, but there is going to be no switch. Rico will stay behind. He might try and go for a move at turn 1 if he's close enough. He's around about 2 tenths behind. Let's see the straight line speed difference between the Mercedes and the Aston Martin. And no, he's not going for the move. He's going to stay behind for now and see if he can get it done later. But as we said, JPJ was struggling to obviously going to keep the Haas behind because he had no DRS, because he was what, 1.7 behind, because he had to take a void of action because the Haas made contact with the Red Bull down in P12. So the gap from 4th to 3rd is around about 2.2, which isn't ideal. So if they can try and catch, that would be great. But ideally, if the top 3 or top 2 work together, they could run away from Julian, and Julian, if he keeps his pace alive, could run away from 4th and so on further down the grid. GG Land, after having contact with his teammate by Ryan, who dived down at turn 6 at the start of this race and finds himself at the back of the grid at P19. GG making his way up to P7. And it's going well for him. We've got yellow flags in the background. That's Bob McQueen spinning at turn number 10. Definitely not ideal for the Alpha driver. However, GG getting a very strong exit here. Coming out of 13. Towards 14 we go as well. We won't see drivers dumping the battery as crazily as they would do, because it is so hard to recover battery here at the circuit of China. So you really want to be in DRS to try and save some of the batteries. That can help you out as well. But if you've got no DRS and you're trying to save battery, well, listen here, you may just struggle a tad. As we see JPJ getting right on the gearbox of the Haas and unable to make an opportunity into turn 1, but almost collects the Haas and almost goes into the back of him. And was thinking of switching to the inside there, but Skillishoe able to do some excellent defending and cover off the Alpine for now. We had the yellow flags as well, and it was Mr. Goat spinning around at the hairpin of 12 and 13. Not ideal, but yeah, not a great day for Ferrari in Tier 1. Not a great day for McLaren in Tier 1. And not a great day for Red Bull and AlphaTauri either. All down in 16th, 17th, 18th and 19th. Not a good day at all. Oh damn, Jakob, your last race is TP. Sorry to hear, and yeah, bit of shocking news if I say so myself. Damn, I was not expecting that. A way to drop a bombshell, you know. But yeah, Rico was pole for qualifying. Obviously, without DRS, Cos flew by, but Rico doing an excellent job at the moment by staying within a second. These two could really work together and pull away from Julian. And Julian trying to pull away from P4, but P4 starting to gain ever so slightly back, as obviously JPJ and Skillishoe looking like they're working together to try and reel in P3. So a lot of strategies happening here at China. A lot of strategies. As we see Pat into Sector 1 of turns 3 and 4 now on the hard compound tyre as, oh, the Alfa Romeo goes a bit wide there, and that could actually open the door for Brizzen to sail on by. But Brizzen actually slightly followed the Alfa, went offline, couldn't do anything, and yeah, definitely not ideal. We've actually missed something as well. GG was in P7, and he actually finds himself out of the points now on lap number 8 in P11. So something's happened at the mid-pack field, shall we say, and unfortunately we missed it. Oh, okay. Don't know what you're on about, Jakob. I didn't hear a word. Don't know what you're on about, you know. No clue. But whilst it's getting a bit quieter now, we can have a look at tyres. And that is your strategy overview right now. Mediums and hards at play at the moment. And just in a bit of a DRS train. I say that. We've got a move happening from Brizzen and to Choose. We're going to get rid... Oh, I'm pressing the wrong buttons again. We're going to get rid of that. We'll get this on the screen. And Tatus and Brizzen going for it for P9 this race into turn 16. Gonna go wheel to wheel, and Alfa Romeo goes off track. It's unfortunate, and it might invite GG to get involved in the action. And it is Tatus losing out to GG. But into turns 1, 2, and 3, you could go wheel to wheel here. It could go all wrong, as the grip is not the best on this circuit. GG trying to hang it around the inside now. And gets the move done. Does force the Alfa Romeo a little bit wide, but nevertheless was clean as it shall ever be. And that's GG up into P10, Brizzen in P9, and Mr. Tatus down in P11, not where he will want to be. Our cat's starting to gain now on the cars ahead as, oh my goodness, that's JPJ and the skill issue going at it. I thought that was skill issue going around the outside, but that was skill issue defending from the Alpine. That was some almighty close contact. A bit of a wobbly moment there for skill issue. Maybe feeling the pressure, and maybe his mediums are starting to fall away, shall we say, as they make their way out of turn 13 now, down towards turn number 14. The gap is only separated by 4 tenths. 4 tenths. Which is absolutely crazy. We're going to see now if any moves can happen. And it can indeed. JPJ sailing on by skill issue for P4 into turn 14. Almost making contact. Looked like they did make contact. But it's something too big to be worried about. And now the Alpine on the harder compounded tyre could try and run away from skill issue, who's on the mediums. And is Haas going to do a switch? No, he's not, because skill issue's coming back at the Alpine. He's going to go around the outside at turns 1, 2, and 3. Is he going to make it stick? The Alpine on the inside, the Haas going a little bit wide, but these two really fighting out here. The Haas as well in the background, his teammate Fat Cat trying to get involved here and just doesn't get the move done. Could go for a dive if he's close enough, but he isn't close enough at all, so he won't be that silly to go for a dive at all. So skill issue with some excellent, shall we say, grip on those tyres. Somehow on lap number 10 is ahead of the Alpine once again. Wait, really? Oh damn, that is impressive. Thank you, Scallop. I did not know that. I appreciate that, buddy. Cheers. There you go, chat. You learn something new every day. Big shout out to Scallop in the chat. Lovely Ferrari driver for tier 2. And just showed me a new thing. There you go. Yellow flags in the background. That's McLaren stopped on track. And saying that, race lead switches again on lap number 10, heading towards turn 11. They're going to be wheel to wheel at turn 14. Towards 15 and 16 we go. Rico might just lift here to give Cos the inside line. He's going to try and get around there, but there's no room for them to squeeze on by. But he'll get back into P1, and Cos will have to set sail for P2 on lap number 11, heading towards 12 very, very shortly. Look at that DRS train from P4 down to P12, almost 13, but they're 1.4 away from this little train. I say little, massive train at absolutely crazy. But Skillishu is holding the pack up on the medium compounder tyre, which is really starting to wear off. JPJ getting very impatient, as we can see behind, trying to get a move done into turns number 6 now, heading towards 7 and 8, the S section. He's got a really better and strong exit than the Haas of Skillishu into the S section now, and can't go wheel to wheel there because it's a little bit risky. But the grip difference between hards and mediums, the hards are definitely starting to come to play. More positions happening, losing left, right and centre to choose back into P10, and Fat Cat is spun. He is round, and that's him down to P13. Could be P14 very, very shortly. That is definitely not ideal. Definitely not what Skillishu want to see his teammate round. So now there's one Haas in the points, one Haas out of the points, but Skillishu will have to worry about that at a later date, because right now JPJ on the charge, try and get past the Haas of Skillishu, making our way down to 14 towards 15. He's a nose ahead, he's a whole car's width ahead, and there is contact between them two, and somehow both drivers managing to keep it, you know, on the track and not spin around completely. So that was lovely. But Skillishu making slight wheel contact with Test Wheel coming out on turn number 16 now, but with wiggles happening for the Williams and Red Bull in the background. Test Wheel might try and get a move done here on the Haas if he can in sector 1, but JPJ could now be released to try and catch P3. We had Meyer as well get their way into P10 because Fat Cat has boxed. And I'm guessing he might go on to hard component tyre, and someone's gone straight on. I mean, chat, I need your confirmation, but is that me? Or did we just see a Red Bull go straight on the exit of turn 3 towards, not even towards turn 4? I mean, that helps out Skillishu. Not Skillishu. Yeah, that helps out Skillishu because obviously he's yet to box off those medium compounds of tyre, so that'll help the medium runners out. That really helps Soybean out. He's down in P14, so now our safety car restart. The whole field will bunch up again, and we'll get racing very, very shortly. Oh my goodness, we could get a Lance Stroll. Luckily we didn't. Thank goodness. There's no car rear ends up in the air, stuff like that. Cos and Rico definitely coming into pit lane to get off those mediums and onto the hards. I'm actually interested to see what will the hard runners go on to. If they go onto the mediums, they'll last to the end of this race, but they'll have no grip for the final few laps remaining at China. So it is going to be the mediums. I don't think we're going to see the softs. If we see the softs, that could be quite, you know, risky, as Ryan Gosling a drive-through penalty for unfortunately not respecting his delta and speeding under it. And having a look in the paddock chat as well, unfortunately Mick's controller did disconnect, so that is very unfortunate. Mick was having a very good race, and then all of a sudden, his controller was like, nah, mate, I'm just going to disconnect and go straight on for you. And it full throttles and went straight on. He's on controller. You never know. He could have had a wire that, I don't know, that just fell out or something, maybe. That could be potential. That sometimes does happen. Or you can get faulty wires where they connect. And then someone disconnect randomly, but... yeah, you could say that, but where the safety car is now, let's imagine that is, actually, no. On board with Mr. Goat. So you see where Mr. Goat is. He's come out of the corner and gone straight on there. That's where he's gone straight on. So if he was, like, somehow DC'd and it's full throttled him, AI would not be able to take over in that amount of time. But, like I said, if the stewards want to look into that one, so far be it, they can. And we'll let them decide what it could be, penalty-wise. Yeah. Save it for reports. We'll hush-hush on that topic for now. And have a look at strategies. And obviously, once again, mash out to Scallop for showing me a little trick on my keyboard, which I didn't know you could do in the game. By pressing D, I can show all of this stuff. So we're going to go to the tyres. And looking at the tyre compound for now, a lot of drivers on the hards, some on the mediums. One driver has caught my eye, Ryan Gosling, having a drive-through penalty, but on the soft compounded tyre. Enrico there, almost overtaking the safety car, which you don't want to do. If you do that, then that can be an automatic DSQ for overtaking the safety car under yellow flags. So don't do that. Really? That is cool. If you can, Scallop, can you like DM me on Discord or like the secret commands and everything? Oh, we can... Wait, you can use your numbers as well? Wow. Chat, I am literally... Oh, I am literally blown away. I did not know you could do that. Bruh. I just figured it out now. I never knew it was in F1. That's absolutely crazy. Indeed, Scallop, indeed. Oh, that's great. Well, thank you, chat. Massive shout out to you guys for the tips today. It's been awesome. It's been fantastic. Safety car could be in this lap as well. We could get racing under lap 15 as Ryan Gosling is about to catch up to the safety car pack. And there we go. Safety car in this lap. Here we go then, chat. Here we go. We get green flag racing once again here at China. The safety car will run away and peel off into the pit lane. And once again, Rico will get us back into racing speed. And when he'll go, I'm not too sure. We've got positions jockeying in the background as well. Hopefully those drivers give them back. But we're going to go on board with Rico. If you're new to Phoenix, and you might be new to me for commentating F1, we do something a little bit different here. So instead of running on board with the leader of the race, we go on board with P3, which is Julian. And yes, I love now using the buttons and not having to use F7 and F8. That is... yes, may I say, quite professional. But like I said, I like to go on board with the Aston Martin, who's in P3, and see how the top two get on and see if there's a bit of a fight, so we can see an onboard POV perspective. We're just waiting for green flag racing back again around turn number 14 and 15 now. Is Rico going to go? Yeah, he's not. He might go on the exit of 16. That's where I think he might go. Look, he's still warming his tyres up. He's now swaying left and right. And on the exit of 16, he's going to go for it. There he goes. He has gone, chat. He has gone. And it's not a great restart for Cos. And it's a decent restart for the Aston Martin. But it's a very good restart, actually, for JPJ, who's down in P4. And could have got a move done there on the Aston, but doesn't have the grip or momentum to do so at the moment on the medium compound tyre, which he should do to get around. We've got a fight happening in P9 at the moment. That's GG. In P9, but I think having contact with Maya, no, not having contact with Maya, might be contact with Ati, who's down in P17. So big crash in the background. We've got more positions happening left, right and centre, and it's happening towards near of P10 in that lot, down in P14 and 15. Both AlphaTauri drivers going at it, fighting away, free to fight here at this circuit. And they're still going to go wheel to wheel and try and fight it out. One on the hards, one on the mediums. Who's going to come out on top? It's going to be Quinn. I think that's how you say it. Quinn up into P14 now, getting ahead of Zoltzi. So yeah, it's all going on. It's all carnage, it's all chaotic on this restart as Mr. Goat, after all that fighting, finds his way up into P15 now on the medium compound tyre. Will want to make a change and want to make a charge. Here we go then. It's Soybean, Champ Bean as we know him all, as the Williams are late on the brakes, trying to go for a move on GG land for, what is it, P number 9. And Maya unable to get the move done for now, but Soybean is looking in the background to get a move done into the points paying position. To lap number 16 we go, to choose a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings for not staying on the track. Maya not close enough to go for a move. She'll have to wait another lap to attack. But GG Land going way too wide there has invited Maya to the outside line. Now GG has the inside line, but Soybean out of nowhere getting involved here. Yellow flags left, right and centre as drivers are spinning all over the place. Soybean now going wheel to wheel with Maya. Is he going to go for a late braking move? He is, and then he backs out of it, and Maya just stays ahead. Absolutely fantastic racing we are getting. Soybean, though, with the driver spinning ahead of him, now finds himself in P number 10. JPJ is as well in P2, Julian in P3, because I didn't realise as well, cause P15, he's had a moment, had contact or lost the car, and he's out of the points. Not a great second half of the race for himself. Everything is absolutely crazy and is all going on. I mean, like I say, we'll just see what the stewards say about that restart if Rico was being infringement and going way too slow. But like I said, we'll just let the stewards deal with that one. And that was Soybean making his way now up to P9. Next on his hit list is GG, who's in P8. Fastest lap is granted to JPJ, a 133.467. Soybean not able to steal it away from now. DRS is now enabled, which means the drivers will get the drag reduction system rear wing open and get a bit more straight line speed if they are within a second. Rico, however, is 1 second ahead of JPJ, but JPJ now clutches back in and creeps back in under a second, flashing with his battery. So he's used it all, which isn't ideal because it's really hard to save it around this circuit. Well, he'll get the rear wing open if he stays within a second in sector 2. Let's see how he gets on the hard compound, or the medium compound tyre. My apologies. And obviously Rico on the hard compound tyre. He looks quite quicker at the moment than obviously Rico in sector 2 and 3 and 1 because obviously he's on the quicker tyre. But Rico able to stabilise that gap for now and staying in the race lead. Heading towards P9 now, as they're right on the gearbox, which is Soybean. Trying to get around GG Land as possibly as quickly as he can. Now on the exit of number 13 down to 14. He might turn that battery on, which he has. Not trying to use too much. He pulled to the right hand side. GG just letting him go. It's not his race to fight with today. Obviously, because Soybean on the mediums, GG on the hards, he knows he's going to get overtaken. Just better to let them by now and try and fight him for it later on. We have got Julian as well, going side by side with the Haas out of turn 16, right on the rear wing of that Haas. On board of him now. He's going to pull to the left hand side and try and go for a move at turns 1, 2 and 3. We've got on a better, hopefully, camera angle, and it doesn't look like we are, but we've gone board with a skill issue, who's going to try and force him wide ever so slightly. Slight contact between the pair of them. Inside line now turns to the Aston Martin. The Haas has nowhere to go. Not the best momentum, not the best grip on the outside line there. That's now Julian up into P3. JPJ, however, 2 tenths to 3 tenths behind Rico. It's all going on. The Haas going for a dive, trying to get it back. Can't get it back though, doesn't have the grip or momentum to do so. And we'll switch to the inside line. And saying that, he'll get back at Julian. Slight wheel barging contact going on there. These two fighting will really help out JPJ's advantage, but won't help out Julian if he's trying to catch for the race win. It's not going to help him at all with all this crazy fighting going on. Soybean now on a charge. Here he comes into P7. He gets the move done ahead, I believe, of Brisen. He is indeed. Next on this list is Chachus in P6. Soybean on these mediums, absolutely crazy. Did not expect it. Absolutely flying. JPJ going for the race lead. And, oh, saying that, trying to go for the defending position after getting past Rico. And in doing so, Rico almost going into the back of them. They do obviously make slight contact. But Rico now got to try and stay as close as he can to JPJ, as he has the advantage later on in the race, of course, on the hard compound tyre. But Rico, not ideal. He is flashing. Soybean doing an excellent job though, picking one victim at a time, and this could be his next victim on the inside line of the Alfa Romeo, heading towards 3 and 4 now, trying to think of a switchback as the Alfa on the hards, so the mediums obviously still going to be better at this moment in the race. Almost 8 more laps of excitement to happen at China. Soybean nowhere to go at the moment. We'll just slot him behind and wait for his next chance. An excellent battling in the mid-pack today. Some excellent battling. But in doing so, Tachus probably trying to turn on the heat now and push a little bit more than he would do, because he knows he's got a charging Red Bull behind him. So in doing so, he needs to try and get past Testwheel as quickly as possibly as he can. He's a little bit far back, so that will open the advantage towards Soybean, riding on board of him once again. Doesn't have the battery turned on. They now get DRS enabled. It's going to pull to the right-hand side of the Alfa Romeo. The Alfa Romeo shouldn't really fight this one too hard, as he's on the harder tyres, but he is down into turn 14, and they're going to go wheel to wheel, and it looks like the Alfa Romeo does come out on top, but these two still going wheel to wheel. The Red Bull up into P6, however. The Alfa Romeo is still coming back at him, heading towards 1, 2 and 3, and the Alfa might have to back out of this one, and he doesn't. Tachus still going to try and stick it around the outside if he can, and there is slight contact between them two. So in doing so, Tachus, is he going to come out ahead? Oh, saying that, the Red Bull was drifting out of that corner. Lovely save there by Soybean, but unfortunately in doing so, Soybean gets a little bit more aggressive and just gets by the Alfa Romeo at turn number 6. What a lovely move that was. Now he's got to try and creep back into the gap of, under a second to get near P5 to get the DRS once again, and so far it looks like he has. He's already within a second of the, not the Aston Martin, the Williams of Testwheel, who's not far off the Aston Martin of Julian, and Julian quite far off the back of Skill Issue. Ryan Gosling retiring in the pit lane. That is them done and dusted for today. Not ideal for McLaren, as they want to just score as many points as they possibly can, and not a good day for Red Bull either. One Red Bull in this race, one Red Bull out of this race due to a controller issue. Definitely not ideal. Brisen on board of him now, right on the gearbox of GG Land. Is he going to go for the dive into turn number 14 and 15? No, he's not. He's going to stay behind for now. As we make our way around turn 16 for the race leaders, or the race leader, and the one chasing the race leader. It's 7 more laps of racing to go around this lovely circuit. Rico just buying his time and waiting for the right moment to happen. Brisen fairly close to the rear wing of GG Land, both on the same compounded tyre. And Maya also making their way into the pit lane, retiring as well. So that's the DNF for Williams. Definitely not going well for some drivers today. Some drivers say this can be a curse for track. We are seeing the curse hit them. Very hard rate. Very hard rate. Fortunate there, and actually what's also more unfortunate is Soybean is actually struggling in P6 right now to stay within a second of Testwheel. So if he can't stay within a second, that could open the door to Tachus to try and get past him again. But heading towards turn number 11 and 12 on the exit of both of those corners, it just looks like Soybean's able to creep in a little bit more and get the DRS this lap, and it looks like he has done that. Brisen into P8 now, getting past GG Land, but GG Land responding and making his way back potentially. Let's see if he can do into turn 14. Brisen, more brave, later on the brakes, gets the move done. GG, there's nothing he can do. You have to slot him behind, and wait for a next opportunity to happen. For a second there, I thought the Aston Martin was gaining quite a bit on skill issue for P3, but didn't gain enough. The top two, however, are making their way around turn 5 towards sector 2 now, 6 and 7, and they're just chilling. Of course, JPJ won't be chilling. Rico will be chilling quite a lot because, to be honest, like I said, he's on the hards. JPJ's on the mediums, so, you know, in doing so, JPJ, his tyres was not to fall off, which gives the advantage to Rico, so we'll see how they get on. It will make Jakob really, really happy if Rico won this race today. It's Jakob's final time after this race of being TP for Mercedes. Shocking news that I've heard today, but I guess it is what it is. So this win for Jakob in Tier 1 today would mean a lot if Rico could get it done for him. So we'll see what happens. Right now, just keep an eye on the gaps, and Rico might actually be listening to me. You never know. Goes for the lead into turn 14, and later on the brakes, then JPJ. But JPJ does brake a little bit earlier to not get involved in any sort of wheel-to-wheel action and not lose too much time. And on the exit of turn number 16, JPJ, is he gaining enough in a straight line? Doesn't look like he is. Got to try and save the battery now and see what he can do. Rico going a little bit wide there at turns 1, 2 and 3 on board with the Mercedes driver, and his ERS situation is looking fairly interesting. Going on board with P10 Fat Cat. Got a spicy brewing battle happening here with Mr. Goat now getting through on Fat Cat for P10. Takes a point away from Fat Cat. Definitely not ideal. Cos as well going for a late braking move. Almost collecting the hash driver. Into turn number 6 we go. That's going to be the Aston Martin ahead and a virtual safety car. Robin McQueen retires from the session. A DNF for Alfa Romeo. Definitely not ideal, but it looks like he's retired on track. So has his game crashed? And is that what caused the VSC? Birds as well. Take a breath. There you go. It most likely could be a retire on track. I'm not too sure because I didn't really see what happened. And a very good restart then for, should I say, Cos. And also the man himself, Soybean, getting up into P5 now. Cos and P10. GG Land was under pressure from the Ferrari, but managed to defend P8 for now. At this way, the way it's going, at this moment, Soybean could find himself on a podium position towards the end of this race. To lap 24 we go. This could be sensational scenes happening right here at China. Soybean, not a strong track for him, but if he can at least get on the podium, that would really, really make his day. Brisen right on the gearbox then of the McLaren, heading towards 3 and 4. Doesn't look like he's close enough to get the move done. The McLaren may be starting to struggle with wear, maybe, I don't know. The hards, I didn't really use them in Tier 2, so I couldn't really tell you how it was. More yellow flags. Haas is off track. That's going to be Fat Cat going almost straight on, having a moment where the Red Bull did, but unfortunately doing so, the Red Bull did full acceleration into the barrier, and unfortunate DNF for them. And Letachus did look quite close on Testwell for a slight moment to try and get a move done. But Testwell 1.6 away. If Tachus picks his time right to go for the overtake, he could get it done on the massive back straight on the exit of 13 down to 14. That was a quick VSC, quicker obviously than Tier 2. Back on board with Champ Bean now. Looks like the Aston Martin is burning battery, or just got a really high top speed. And on board with JPJ now. Is he going to go for a move at turn 16 towards turn 1? If he's close enough, he's around about 3 tenths behind. On the exit of 16, those mediums might be starting to wear off. So if he wants to try and win this race, he's probably got to get ahead now. On board with the Alpine. He is lifting and coasting and saving battery. A very smart strategy to do. Cos, however, down in P10, was racing and running in the top 3, but having that spin, not ideal, or contact, not too sure what happened, is now fighting away for Brizzen for P number 9, going for a bit of a switchback on turn number 4, doesn't get it done. However, down to turn 6, he could go late on the brakes, and it looks like he is on board with him now. Look at that. Makes the corner. Fat Cat has retired from the session in the pit lane. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 retirees in tier 1. Not ideal for some teams who was in good opportunities for scoring some really, really good points today. Everybody, however, is starting to get in a rhythm now towards the end of this race, but one man who isn't really in a rhythm, he's in a mind of his own, is Soybean down in P5, really burning that battery now and trying to put the pressure on Julian. Julian just looks like he has so much straight line speed, because I don't think he's even using the battery. No, he isn't, I don't think. He might even go for the move on the Haas. He is. Down to turn 14 we go on. Hopefully, if the game was to give me a better camera angle, it's not giving me a better camera angle, so I might have to switch to the Haas. Yeah, there we go. Now we've got a better onboard camera. And making our way out of turn number 16, Soybean. Is he going to try and find his way up into P4? He pulls to the right-hand side, the inside line, for turns 1, 2, and 3, and gets it done. Absolutely amazing stuff there from Soybean. Lap 26, provisional lap, or penultimate lap, on the way next. No words. It's insane. We've got a fight for the race lead, a fight for P3. There is so much carnage about to happen. You don't trust me. 100% trust me. Brizzen getting past Cos for P number 10 now. Cos out of the points once again. Definitely not ideal. Cos looking like he's going very, very slowly. Could have some sort of damage. I'm not too sure what's going on there because not normally that slow, trust me. Not normally that slow. So now, on board of the Red Bull driver. What's he thinking in his head right now? Is he going to try and go for the move and try and defend the position for later on? Rico looks like he's starting to try and run away and pull away from JPJ, but JPJ is saying, no, you're coming back here, because he is reeling in that gap very, very quickly, so could be burning some of the battery. On board with Soybean, as Julian is flashing. Soybean's going to use a little bit to try and get the overtake done at turn 14. JPJ not getting the move done at this moment of time, and could try and get a last minute dive or move done on lap 28 out of 28. But Mr. Chachus down in P7, trying to get past Testable for P6, does have a 3-second time penalty towards his name, which will actually hinder him ever so slightly. Definitely not ideal. Into turns 1, 2, and 3. We're on the penultimate lap of this race now. It gets spicy, it gets competitive, and we're going to see some crazy fights unfold here. Soybean in P3, where a strong track is not a strong track, but could be a strong track after this race. The Haas was looking to go for a move there on the Aston Martin, but just wasn't close enough to get the move done. And it looks like the Aston Martin is suffering with rear grip. He was sliding out of turn number 6 towards the S's of 7 and 8, now towards turn number 9 and 10. About to get crazy. See what happens here. At this moment of time, nothing much, but to choose turning on the heat now, turning on the pressure, and might try and get past Testville on the exit of 13. Go on board with JPJ now. He is really saving the battery. And he is lifting. He is not going for the move yet this race. The Haas was looking in the background as well to get the move done on the Aston Martin, which wasn't close enough to choose. However, look at him, he gets it done. Look at GG as well, trying to get the move done on the Williams as well, but there was no space for him, so I'm glad he backed out of that one. And I'm pressing wrong buttons once again. Look on board of JPJ now, still right behind Rico. He does not want to go by until the exit of 13 to 14. We'll see what happens here. We could see Rico let the Alpine go by him, try and do a John Otmere, let him go and try and get back at him on the exit of 13. We're going to see some maybe see some DRS chicken. If we do, hopefully it's done fairly and treated with respect. We've got some excitement happening here. Skill issue. Here we go. At the moment in time, Soybean in P3, 1.2 away from P2 and P1. Skill issue finally up into P4, but Julian is now behind him, so he'll get the advantage of DRS if he stays there in a second. We'll see what happens towards the end of this race. On board of P5 and P4 now, both on the same compounded tyre, making their way out of turn number 10 towards turn number 11. The Aston Martin will get the advantage of DRS, but has he got the battery to commence in fighting? Going on board with P4 quickly. They have got more battery than they needed to. There goes JPJ. He's turned on the battery. Rico has no battery to defend with. DRS activated. JPJ is trying. He's gaining. He's gaining. He's gaining. He's gaining. He's gaining. Is he going to go for the lunge? He's not going to go for the lunge. So Rico could have done it here with a master plan. Mediums versus hards. And JPJ looks like it's going to be a denial for a race victory. So it's going to be him going off track. Rico crossing the line in P2. Soybean coming home in P3. P4 skill issue. P5 Julian. P6 test wheel. 7th for GG. 8th to go. 9th for Chachus. Of course, that 3-second time penalty. And then P10 Risen. There we go. P11 crosses the line. Pat. 12 Quenzup. 13 Zoltz. And Koz to come home in P14. What a race that was to watch. And congratulations to Mercedes and Rico for winning that race, especially for Jakob as his last day, his last round as team principal for Mercedes. Absolutely fantastic to watch. Darkness scene, your comment in the chat right now. Rico the GOAT does win indeed. Let me enjoy this moment. Right. Let's get the reactions of what's happening here on the grid. So, JPJ coming home in P2 with the fastest lap time of 133.467, stealing an extra point, and that makes it 19 points instead of 18. Rico taking the win here at China, but these are only provisional results for now, so things could change if anybody gets reported and penalties could be handed out left, right and centre. But once again, like I said, and like everyone's saying in the chat right now, P1 Rico, P2 JPJ, P3 Soybean, P4 Skill Issue, P5 Julian, P6 Testel, P7 GG Land, P8 Mr. Goat, P9 Tachus and Brisen, P10, P11 Pat, P12 Quinzup, P13 Zoltz, Koz, P14. That grounds off all the drivers that were driving in this race and going towards the DNFs this race. Fat Cat in P15, Wobby McQueen in P16, P17 Maya, and then Mick, shall I say, Ryan Gosling in P18, and then Mick in P19 to round off the last of DNFs. There you go, exactly, Darkness. What a great weekend. Great weekend. That was a lovely race to watch, I must say. Absolutely loved every single bit of it. Right then. Should we get some interviews on the way? Let's see if anybody's waiting for an interview. So, having a look, we've got 3 of our podium winners in the waiting room right now. We're going to go with our winner, Rico, currently who won the race in P1. So let's get everything set up and then bring him in and see how he got on. Bear with for just a second, chat. Let me get everything set up on my side and we'll go there. With the F124 cars, but we can't because there's no Red Bull on there. Can't do that either. Right, to 23 cars we go. Let's go on board with the Mercedes and absolutely wonderful. Let's bring up Rico now and see how we do. Ask him some questions and let's kidnap Rico.
Oh.
Hello, Rico.
Hello.
Welcome. Apologies, I know you were busy in there, but I thought I'd drag you up quickly to ask you, how are you feeling right now? You must be buzzing.
Nah, not really. I'm just chilling. I was lucky that Soybean got a 5-grid place penalty when Mix drove into the back of him. So that's why I was like, no, restart, please. So because I knew, like, if he starts 5 places back where he originally would have started, I might have had a chance.
I mean, yeah.
Then I saw he got like demolished in like turn 4 or 5.
Yeah, there was
And
a
then
bit
I
of a
was like,
dive.
oh yes, this is the time to win. And then yeah, eventually I won.
Yeah, there was a bit of a dive from Ryan Gosling.
I just looked back at the safety car restart I did. I went 77 for like a second or 5 when I went into the second last corner. And then mid corner, of course, you're going slower because like you can't go like, you know?
Yeah, I know what you
So
mean.
there
Yeah.
I went 65, but then when I came out of the corner, I instantly went to 82 or 85 or even higher. So I'm for sure not getting a pen for that.
Well, that's good to hear. And in case it does get reported, make sure obviously you have your evidence with you. And yes, like I said, you're very, very happy you won the race. You're glad that Soybean got that 5-grid place penalty by being demolished by a Haas.
Mix.
Yeah, that was a little bit interesting, but Mix did apologise to Soybean, which is good to see and good sportsmanship as well. But of course, as we always do, that is China done on our list. I'm going to quickly find, whilst trying to multitask, what our next track is, and it's going to be...
not expecting to get pole plus the win. So that was...
Well, there you go. You got pole, which blew me away, don't get me wrong. I was not expecting it either. And then, yeah, you came home with the win. You managed to do some excellent defending, deploy your battery at the right time, and bring it home. You know, keep JPJ behind. You kept calm, you kept collected, and you got the job done. But of course, China done now. We move to Spa, which is going to be a sprint weekend. Could we see you maybe popping again?
I probably won't be home next week, so I can't race.
Okay.
And
could we see you again, maybe?
Maybe, I don't know, probably not. Maybe
Probably
at
not.
the last, I don't know what the tracks are. Let me look.
Got Miami for round 7, round 8 Mexico,
I
and
might
the
be
final
back
round Imola.
in round 8 or 9.
Okay. Well,
but I'll be
good.
busy with moving because I'm moving home. So
that's fine. Yeah,
probably.
No worries. I mean, it'd be good to see you on the grid again, try and take a dominant race victory once again. But if you have nothing else to answer or say, then that is me done and dusted with all the questions. Feel free to run away.
Thank you for commentating. I'll be sure to watch it back though.
No worries. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you in the next one.
I see.
Right, that is Rico done and dusted. We're on next for the Red Bull, who I'm going to kidnap in just a second. Hopefully they're not in the middle of something, but I'm going to kidnap Champ Bean right about now.
Oh my god.
Hello, Bean. We meet again.
Yes, we do.
And I've been hearing from a few people that China is not your strongest track.
Is that a question?
I mean, I don't know if that's is that true. Is China your weak track?
I mean, I hate the track if that's the question, but I don't think I'm particularly slow around it. I mean, that was, although qualifying is probably my worst qualifying in this league pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, I should have been at least 4 or 5 tenths quicker than that at minimum, but I just ruined my lap. And yeah, just it was on my first out lap, and I get rear-ended by a Haas, completely
I
out of
did.
nowhere.
I did see that. That was questionable and quite interesting, but of course, skill
Yeah,
issue. Did apologise and understood what he'd done was wrong, and yeah, you'll know for next
yeah.
time not to get distracted.
So I got yeah, obviously a 5 place penalty for that. So it's unfortunate, but I decided to keep going because, I mean, 5 places isn't the end of the world. We could still come back from it at least.
Yeah,
And at the start, I was just taking it slowly, at least, not trying to get into a crash. But luckily, I didn't have to worry about that because someone did it for me. So yeah, just going into, I don't even know what corner it is, might be turn 5. Uh, the Haas and a Ferrari come parallel up my inside. We weren't even close to making that corner. And yeah, immediately got front wing damage. So I pretty much had to pit at that point. And yeah, it was pretty lonely after that. And eventually the safety car did save me because I was definitely not getting points if that didn't come. And yeah, I had to go from what 14th, I think, to the front. So just trying to make up places here and there. Still a lot of carnage going on. So couldn't quite put the pace on, but still managed to get past almost everyone. If we had DRS near the end, then maybe we could have fought for the win as well. But yeah, I mean, P3 is better than no points. So I guess through all the incidents and everything, I'd have to take it. But obviously, the pace was good, to be fair. I think if I did start where I was meant to, it would have been pretty smooth sailing. But yeah, you can't win all of them, even though I would want to. I wanted to last season as well and got it taken away from me that time too. But yeah, we'll see. And we still got a good gap. I think I still extended the gap because I think Julian's P2. So yeah, I mean, pretty terrible race, but we'll go again next time, I guess. It's all for all fun and games, I guess, in the end.
yeah, exactly. All fun and games. A bit of an up and down race, but like I said, P3 better than nothing. One more thing from me then is, of course, we go to round number 6 at the wonderful circuit of Spa. And of course, it's going to be a sprint weekend. What are your thoughts on maybe taking a race victory, your qualifying, or what are you like around that track?
Well, I think Spa's really one where you can find basically whoever pushes the car the hardest is going to be the fastest. Like there's no there's no margin for driving safely basically. Otherwise you're going to be slower than everyone. So yeah, if you want to be quick, you're going to have to send it, and especially a one shot quali, it's going to be difficult to not invalidate it as well. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, but the DRS and slipstream is also way too powerful at that track. So it's going to be a train, and the way you're going to win is either being P2 on the last lap or P3, or having more ERS or trying to get away from the front, basically. So that's the goal. It should definitely be interesting. I think finally a track that most people enjoy. So yeah, it should be good, and hopefully it goes better than this one. Obviously, more points up for grabs as well. So I'll try and get all of them like I did last time. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a challenge because, like I said, the slipstream from the cars behind in DRS is just insane. So yeah, we'll see, and I look forward to it at least.
Well, that is wonderful to hear. Well, that is me basically done and dusted with all my answers. If you have anything else to offer, we'll get our last interview on the way. Very much come to have one.
All right, thank you very much.
Bye bye. Right, next on our list is going to be Julian, racing for Aston Martin, our final P3 spot for the podiums. So let's get him in. Hello, Julian.
Yeah.
How are we doing? What are your thoughts on today's race? A bit of a, I say, tough cookie, you know. Lots of battles out
Yeah.
there on track for you today, but you came in P3, so, or P2, should I say? Sorry. So better than nothing, right?
Yeah. But I finished P5, but it's not the result that I wanted because of skill issues. Uh, make me annoying all the time. He was I don't know what to say about his late launches and bum drafts. So I it's not the attempt to blame him.
Yeah. I mean, finishing home in P5. My apologies, I thought we were on the podium, but I got myself a bit muddled up, as I usually do. Finishing P5. I'd say it's an okay result. Obviously not ideal for on-track battles and positions, but apart from that,
Yeah.
you've got some points for the team. So
He could deserve the better if the cost didn't get technical issues with his steering wheel.
I did see that, and that was very upsetting. Quite confused, like he was in the podium positions, and all of a sudden he got under P15, so that was a little bit interesting. So yeah, I thought he had damage, but then I saw as wheel problems, I was like, oh damn, that's definitely not good. But apart from that, we moved to Spa next weekend for sprint race.
Yeah.
Do you think Aston Martin can bounce back again?
Yeah, I think it's the best track to get the revenge for China because for me it's the one of the best tracks I've ever had.
That is fantastic to hear. So hopefully see you in the top 5, top 3 for the next round of the sprint race here at Spa. And yeah, I'll be back again to watch that awesome, lovely racing. If you have nothing else to add, then feel free to leave. And
Yeah,
I
thanks,
will
man.
catch you next one. No worries. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Right then, so that is me obviously getting confused with the podiums. I forgot it was JPJ who got P2, and soaring through victory was obviously Rico. Then P3 was, of course, as we know, Champion. So that is me getting muddled up. So apologies on my behalf for that. But guys, we are done and dusted for today. We're going to run away now. Make sure to hit that follow button to keep up to date with all our content if you're not followed already, to see when we go live on the Twitch. We do F1, Tiers 1s, Tiers 2 live on the channel. We do ACC live on a Saturday at 8 o'clock UK time. We then do F2 as well live on the channel on Fridays at 8 o'clock. So much stuff going on. Get yourself involved. I don't know why. We do have other tiers as well, like 3, 4, and 5. Get involved in there as well. They're not streaming on the Twitch yet, but it most likely means they could be for next season. So get involved. There's very many different options of games as well, like Minecraft, Dirt Rally, so much more. It's a great community to be a part of. So I'm going to sign off. Make sure to join our Discord, which is down below. And I'll see you in the next one. This is me, Mr. Flynn, signing off. And I'll see you guys next weekend. Bye-bye.